Yeah, so I think we're obviously desperate for a win on the tour. I think it was a supreme physical effort. I think the Dragons are probably one of the most physical teams in this league. And it's a great pack of forwards they had. So I don't know. Our sort of belief sort of built as we sort of started to take their forwards' legs, and then we just wanted more, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, just a couple of things that I stand out for me is physicality. One of the most physical games I think we've seen in a long time. Just the hits that were coming in, especially in that first half. Then second week in a row, the opposition didn't score a point in the second half. Basically, all the Dragons' points on the night came when we were a man down. And also set pieces. I think the lineouts, which has been quite maligned on this tour, I don't think we lost one. So a lot of really strong positives to take to the kind of home leg that we're hitting now.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of growth in this tour. Like our maul defense is better than even was in Currie Cup. You did right about the lineouts. Like, it's either 90% or 100. So there's a lot of positives. Also, without our traditional big front row, we've scrummed against. I think that pack, I stand under correction, was 6 Welsh internationals for the November things in that pack of the Dragons. They're really, and so for us to, I think we're probably fair to say we're the upper hand in the forwards by the end. So very proud of the effort. It's a tricky place to play. It's very wet in this field, very slippery. So probably lacked a bit of rhythm in some ways, but we'll take it.
For sure. And then also to come home, we obviously with that win under the belts, massive.
We needed to get a win on tour. We could have had 3, but fair, that's probably a fair reflection. I think we've got better every week. But going into Zebra and Cardiff, which will now be at home, it's put us in a really good position in the tournament. And we probably have some guys coming back from the national team and injuries like Dion Ferry and Achiever and Kay Voliter. So that's put us into quite a nice position. The key thing was tonight,
Yeah, great, guys. If we've got questions for Dobbo, you can fire away.
Hi there, Dobbo. Leighton here. Congrats on the win. Just in terms of the guys, understanding the refs, do you feel that you guys are there now with problems behind them? It seems like the guys dealt with the ref tonight fairly good.
I think all the South African teams are getting on top of it. Having said that, we've got 2 Italian referees over the last 2 weeks. Have been slightly different to what we had in the first 2 weeks, and different in quite a nice way. We've enjoyed that they've sort of tried to make the game flow. So, I'm not sure that they're in the same category in terms of the adaptation requirement, but I certainly feel like we're certainly on the much better position with the referees than we were. And I think it applies to all South African sides. Saman's yellow card was a big moment of the game. That's when we gave up 10 points, and I thought it's probably an area where it's not nothing to do with the referee, but there needs to be consistency. Because I thought Evan Roos got a pretty similar shot, which wasn't looked at. So maybe the sweeping and the TMO stuff is something that we could improve on. But I think in terms of the game management, we were much better than we were in the first game.
And do you feel that you guys kind of left a couple of points out there on the field? But in turn, a guy like Leolan Zas had a very good game where you swapped him out with Sergil, who's had a very good game last weekend.
So I break up a little bit. You said we left points out. Who's the guy you're referring to? Swapped out?
No, I say, do you feel you guys left a couple of points there, but then the guys who stepped in, a guy like Leolan, the guys stepping in, did they perform?
Yeah, look, Leolan, there's been a change in him, which we've seen coming for a while in terms of how he's training, his professionalism. So so I'm so pleased for him because he wasn't in a great space for a long time. So for him to come back and produce that was. But he's trained really hard. I think he's spotted one of our frustrations. Even we try to force things too much. Whether it was Neertlin's angle or a bailout to the front of the lineup when we should have ball, or Evan Roos's two pick and goes. We weren't really patient with the ball, and I think that sort of stopped us from getting any rhythm in the game. But I know, jeepers, a guy like Llewellyn, we're blessed at centre. The other Marnie Lebok in these conditions, I don't know if you could see on the TV how wet it was and it was sliding around and the lights weren't great. I think Marnie, so I'm very chuffed with the sort of depth that we're building, and the energy they show on sort of week 4.5 of a tour like this is really good.
Double, how good was Marit Galant tonight, and how crucial is he to the team's performance?
He's great. I don't think we kicked particularly well in the first half, distance-wise. And the contestables went up. We also lost the scraps. So, but Warwick from attacking, what he brings to the team in attack and confidence is massive. But we're building. We'll have Timo still around. Kane will be back. Marnie can play 15. So, Damien's going to come back. So hopefully we're putting together. Yeah, this win was so important because we're putting together a kernel of a pretty good squad going into the home games.
Robert, can you try and just rotate your camera? You sideways. Ashley's trying to get a shot of you.
Was it like that?
Like that, yeah. Perfect.
Okay, sorry.
Good.
Sorry.
Cool, guys. Any other questions?
Yes, Michael. First of all, congratulations, Coach Dobson. Coach Dobson, I would just like to take it forward a bit. You mentioned it earlier, just briefly. What does this victory mean for you guys going into the home stretch now? You mentioned Zebre and Ulster the next 2 matches. How long are you guys going to be in break before you answer that question?
I think these guys.
Recording in progress.
We've been going pretty much since September last year or August last year with that superhero. So I'll get 2.5 weeks off now and try and get them re-energized for those November games. So, we've got Zebra at home, which is at Cape Town Stadium, and then Cardiff, which are 2 really good opportunities. And I think hopefully on fields like that, on that Cape Town Stadium and in the summer of Cape Town, we can show what more we can do on attack. I do think we did it against Munster, and we saw some glimpses of Edinburgh and Treviso, but tonight was a real slugfest. I mean, I don't think people should underestimate. There's a lot going on the Dragons, and that was a massive back and forward. So it means a lot to us. I'm really excited for this team, actually.
Coach, can I ask you? Obviously, can I firstly ask you this question? Obviously, there was an announcement today that we welcome you. You guys are hosting matches here in South Africa again. Is that good news for you guys, being able to host some of your local fans at these 2 matches, though?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, this travel, South Africa. I think we had 5 guys who applied for passports, because they're youngsters. Our teams are so young. Hadn't been on Super Rugby tours. No South African teams other than Springboks tour these countries. So it's all been a massive learning curve for us. And I think going back to Italy was going to be tough. Sunday Zebra, which would have been a home game for us, was in fact going to be played at their home ground. So I think just giving the guys time off to play in Cape Town for some of the men, so it just means a lot to this. It means a lot to the team. I mean, we'll be really energized. So
Coach, just my last question. Obviously, Jacques Nienaber is making an announcement on Tuesday. Are you expecting to gain some players, or are you expecting to lose some players?
Luckily, this tour shouldn't affect us unless guys get injured. In terms of the Springboks are back the week before, or the last game's the week we play Zebra. But I'm hoping, I don't want to jinx them, but I mean, you and I probably, and the guys on this call, like Leighton, Nani, could probably work out that 1 or 2 guys I'll be hoping that go on the tour. I think, so I don't want to jinx anything, but Salman, after a serious neck injury, to my mind, has been massive. Evan Roos has had a great season. So who knows? I don't know what the size of the Springbok squad is, but I know that they'll be back for our game. So I'll be chuffed if anybody gets invited to Springbok. Anybody doesn't, from this touring group makes Springbok playing, it'd be great.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Well, guys, any other questions?
The side, yes, Mikey. Thanks.
Go for it.
Dobbo, just in terms of I know we've been hammering on Warwick and Mani, but having guys, traditionally right-footed guys, but they're so good on the left foot. How good has that weapon been to you guys? Knowing that they can kick off left and gain some territory with it. And have you guys missed that for the past couple of seasons in the 10s and 15s?
Yeah, look, it is big for us to have that thing. I don't think we kicked that well in the first half. I think I don't know, maybe we're still worried about ball rolling dead or something. It doesn't feel like we were striking it properly. But they were finding grass, and that's because of their feet. I think they play off each other, these two. So I think it's a really exciting combination for us. But I was a little bit disappointed with how we didn't get quite the distance we wanted. But you can see these two are going to be good together.
Cool. We happy, guys?
Sorry, no injuries. No one injured, eh?
No, Scat took a knock to his ankle. But nobody of any no serious injuries. I think just to add in the two things, I mean, these guys were amazing to BOK. He was on the big screen. They chanted his name. They clapped him on the field. That was very special. Drew Welsh's hospitality. And then, which is one by the way point. I don't know if anybody. I don't know. I don't think I've seen a loose forward work as hard as Willie did tonight. He's tough, and he did. Right at the end, he was still sprinting. So I was very pleased with Willie as well.
About just on the loose forwards, Junior, how did he show up in your opinion tonight?
Yeah, good. Look, he's rusty, Nani. He hasn't played. Well, his last game would have been for the Cheetahs, and I'm not sure when the exact date. And he blew. He just got exhausted. But I thought he was showing his really physical, intense work rate. Very excited by him. I think Evan Roos is probably by his incredible standards not his best day at the office in terms of errors. But that's quite an intense loose trio. Even if it's Nama at 6 or Dion Faris, we've got some options now. Billy, Evan, we've got a couple of other guys coming back like BJ Dixon. So I thought really somebody we'd like to keep involved here, but as long as we can.
Thanks.
Cool. Nice one, Dobbo.
Thanks, chaps.
Thanks,
Mike.
Thanks,
Dobbo. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.